and welcome to Digital Zone channel. My name is Iris and today we will take a look how to create a circular cropping in DaVinci Resolve. It's simple, anyone can do it, and it takes just a few clicks. So let's get started. First, we will of course need the shot we want to crop, and we will open it in DaVinci Resolve. Under normal circumstances, we would use the crop tool to trim the video, which can be found under this icon, or we would adjust the sliders in the cropping tab in the right-hand menu. However, this method would only give us a square crop. If we want to crop the footage into a circle, or at least with rounded corners, we need to switch to the Fusion tab, which is hidden under the magic wand icon down here. The footage we want to edit must be selected, and for easier handling, we can place the red playhead on it, which shows us where we are currently in the video. In the Fusion tab, we select the ellipse option, which will give us the desired circular crop. It should be noted, however, that this function does not work as a standard crop, but instead creates a mask. In other words, it defines which part of the video will be visible and which will not. We will take later about the exact difference between a mask and a crop. For now, let's take a look at how to work with the mask. The red arrows are used to move the cutout. The smaller inner green dashes circle determines the angle, which naturally has no effect on the circular shape. But if we were working with the ellipse, we could use this circle to rotate it. The larger green circle allows us to adjust the size and shape. Here, it is important to pay attention to which part of the circle we click on. At the top, bottom, right and left, we change the shape, turning the circle into an ellipse, as we stretch it sideways or vertically. By grabbing the circle at the corner diagonally from the center, we change the overall size without deforming the shape. In the right-hand menu, there are several more options for what we can do with the crop. The most important function is, of course, the option to invert the selection. This means that instead of cropping the footage into a circular shape, a circular hole is cut out of the footage. Solid determines whether the mask will be a filled area or just an outline, the width of which we set using the both-way slider. This way we can create an interesting effect of a circle in which part of the footage is played. With soft edge, we can blur and soften this outline. Filter determines how DaVinci calculates the edge between the transparent and non-transparent parts of the circle. It therefore applies only to the edge, not the entire video. If soft edges are not enabled, the effect will not be visible. A similar effect to the ellipse tool can also be achieved using the rectangle, which is the icon right next to it. This will crop the video in a standard rectangular shape. However, in the menu, we have the option to route the corners using the corner radius slider. The next two icons in the same panel, Polygon and B-Spline, allow us to create a mask with a custom shape. The polygon works as a precise tool. By clicking on the image, we create points that are connected by lines, which can then be adjusted. With the B-spline, we only create guide points, and the curve between them is automatically smoothed. When adding any mask, it's essential to make sure that the new node, for example a square labeled ellipse, is connected to your footage. If it is added elsewhere and stands alone, it's not linked to your video and no adjustment will be visible. This is one of the most common mistakes that prevents people from seeing the selected effects on their footage. First, click on the video input, that's a median one, and once it's highlighted in red, then click on the ellipse tool or any other tool we have discussed. And now let's briefly discuss the main difference between a standard crop using the crop tool and creating mask. The crop tool is destructive. The cropped part of the video is simply gone and no longer exists. With a mask, the part of the footage is just non-visible, but it still exists. It is just hidden, but we can restore it at any time if we decided to, for example, move the mask. With cropping, it's not possible to have blurred, rounded, or circular edges. It's a quick and easy to use tool if we want to crop something quickly. Creating a mask is a bit more complex and takes more clicks. However, a mask gives us much better control and option for future adjustment, effects and animation. And voila, we are done. This is how you can easily achieve a circular crop in DaVinci Resolve. If this tutorial helped you and you learned something new, feel free to support me with a like, subscription or comment. If you would like to support me financially, you can buy me a coffee on Buy Me a Coffee page. Link in the description below. That's all for today and I will see you next time in another tutorial.